I'm gonna set the thing on recording. If you need to say a profanity, say it right now or hold your peace.
I'm effing excited. This is my first community meeting.
Good morning, everybody. So, this is the community meeting for Calico, month of October. We have a lot of fresh faces. Apparently, all we needed to draw a crowd was to change the community meeting from Wednesdays to Tuesdays. So who knew? Anyway, so this particular community meeting is going to be about uh, our upcoming release, 331, but that doesn't mean you don't get your hands on some new code. We recently released 330.4. There are a bunch of improvement packed in it. One is the let me just find the tutorial for it. One is the Whisker UI change. I saw Casey putting it in there. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, previously you had to have the JSON goggles to sort of parse what the policy represented in the Whisker UI. But nowadays you can just look at the UI and it will tell you everything in a table format. And actually, I do have one demo of that change upcoming, and hopefully this time demo works. But anyway, so let me just share my screen with you. All right. So in terms of the changes, as always, you can hopefully everybody can see my
Yep.
screen. Great. So in terms of changes, like always, you can come to the release page in our docs and from the navigation, go to the latest release or the release that you are running. If you are not running the latest, please do so. There are a bunch of changes, a lot of fixes that we put in the software. I know it's great to run like point 0.1 something and be like OG of that software, but please update. We do uh, put some improvement in our software from time to time. Anyway, so the thing that I'm talking about is around here. So improve Whisker UI. And in around 2 minutes, I will show that to you. On top of that, it's time to talk about 331. So 331 is gonna have the same sort of UI improvement for Whisker. There's going to be NFTables coming as GA this time. So we already support NFTables. You can actually currently set your data plane to NFTables. It's similar to eBPF and IP tables. It's a value in Felix configuration or installation manifest. And by changing that, you are running the latest, not latest, but it is the newest networking data plane in Calico. I believe it's after VPP, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah, we got the VPP people to confirm it. So yes. Um, and we are introducing two more changes. These are also packed in 330.4. So these are not like huge changes, but it will help you a lot with eBPF clusters. Previously, you had to manually go and change some values, add some values. I'm specifically talking about the API changes. So in order to have kubeproxy running, you had to write down the Kubernetes API server IP address. You don't need to do that anymore if you are running a kubeproxy in your cluster. There is a new configuration value called kubeproxy management. Basically, you enable it, everything is getting taken care of by the operator for you. And we actually write an eBPF NAT in your cluster to take care of the communication between whatever pod you have and a Kubernetes API server. For some reason, I want to say kubeproxy server. There's also another change that we added. It's C group. So in some immutable OSs, you need to change the path of some folders. For instance, in Talos Linux, you needed to change C group mount point. But previously, the operator couldn't do it. It was available in the manifest, but the operator would, rewrite it. So that is another fix added both to the operator and the Felix. I believe the Felix part was added by Tomasz, and the operator part was added by Lucas. And now that I talked about a lot of things, the demo gods are showing me I can click on start. All right. So hopefully you all have seen Whisker. It's our observability stack. It has a UI. It gives you all information about what is running in your cluster in terms of network flows. And if you click on any of the flows now, you don't need to parse, as I said, JSON. Everything is coming to you in a table format. You would get two tables, enforced and pending. So these are for the most part identical unless you have a staged network policy. If you don't know what staged network policy is, it's similar to a policy, but it doesn't enforce anything. It just shows you what will happen if you have that policy in place. So if we add a stage network policy, which I think we should do, give me a second. I do believe there is a stage network policy somewhere here. Let's go. All right. So first of all, I'm going to write a policy, and this policy will work, but it will break my application. This is because I sort of wrote a default deny without adding an exception for my application. And we should see that here in our Whisker panel. Let me just fresh as a deny. So if you look closer, you will see there's an action deny, and the enforced policy is deny. You can click on it. It will tell you, well, you have a global network policy. This is a unique Calico resource, allows you to target your cluster as a whole. And as you can see, I just wrote one policy. It's applying to the whole cluster. Anyway, these two are identical. Something is happening. So how can I fix it? Well, the way to fix it is waiting for the next level. When it loads, all right, first of all, I need to get rid of my policy, which I do. My application will come up. I can see things. Great. Whisker is up. So this time, instead of global network policy, I'm going to create staged network policy. So basically, I prefix any network policy that I want with a stage. It could be Kubernetes network policy, it could be Calico network policy, it could be global network policy from Calico. You get the gist. Now, this time, nothing breaks. Everything is working. And if you come to Whisker, you should see a lot of actions that are allowed. We'll take a second for the UI to load in the UI that is embedded, but All right. So around here, these are still old, so we're gonna wait. All right. So around here, still old. Let me see. Oh, here. This one is new. All right. So I tried to do something with my web demo, which is this application, and it's telling me, well, right now it is allowed. This is the enforced policy, but there's a pending policy. And if I click on it, it says you wrote a stage network policy and it's called deny app. Let's check it. Yep. And if you enforce this, it will deny things. So now I know if I write this policy down as a policy, as a global network policy, not the staged one, it will drop this particular flow. So let's say I figured out how to fix this, and somewhere around here, I create the required policy, which is allowing port 80 to be reachable from outside. And then I can get rid of the stage network policy and get rid of uh, the stage part in the prefix, run the policy again, and this time everything works and Whisker should be happy. So basically that's all. If you'd like to take this demo for the spin, here is the website. Here's the QR code. This Kubernetes observability with Calico Whisker. This is the thing that I was running. There are others you can use as well. With that, since everything worked, I'm gonna stop here before the gods get mad at me. Woo. So we do have a couple of people here, Nathan from the VPP team and Eric from the operator team. So I'm gonna hand the mic to Nathan and ask if there's any sort of like
Right.
new changes or any noticeable things with VPP that we should know about.
Reza, before you do, does anybody want to, are there any questions about the demo you just did? I had a couple things to add, I think. Um, just little points, but uh, I know there's a bunch of people who like do development on Calico here. I actually use this new tool pretty frequently when like diagnosing issues in Calico, and it's proven pretty helpful. So definitely recommend doing that. Like it's helped me with a lot of end-to-end tests where something's not working and I can't figure out why. And you go check out the Whisker UI and it shows exactly what is causing the problem. Um, so it's definitely doing its job, which is pretty sweet. And I think a lot of that's due to this new UI change that doesn't spit out a big blob of JSON for you to parse. Um, you mentioned about the pending policies. There is a subtle addition to that I would make. It's most of the time just staged policies, but there's another case where you may get a discrepancy between the enforced and the pending set of policies, and that's because our policies operate on connections, and so it's possible to change an active policy and have an outstanding connection that is still allowed, but will be denied on the next time that connection is established. So that's one other scenario, kind of a little bit niche, but where you might see a difference there. I think we have plans in the work in a future release to sort of make that distinction more apparent in the UI. Right now they show up as the same. Similarly, I think we've got some plans coming down the pipeline to like improve the querying here. So to be able to filter on like particular staged policies and see what their impacts are and to see like, do I have any staged pending denies that would become enforced when I switch these policies over. God, I could have sworn there was a third thing I wanted to say. Oh,
It
the
is
last thing,
free.
just on the small delay. Oh yeah, it is the small delay that you saw on like just the flows coming in. It's typically about 15 seconds because that's the aggregation window that we use in this stack. So we actually aggregate data to sort of make this parsable. Otherwise, you're going to get, especially on like real production clusters with lots of pods, just too much data to sift through. So we'll aggregate across deployments. So you get flows sort of showing up as a single entry there, and we do it across a 15-second window.
Thank you, Casey.
Okay, now Nathan can have the mic.
Thanks. And yeah, thanks a lot for the demo. That was really neat. We actually never actually tried it out. So, but I'm taking a note at installing and trying it out because it's very helpful. So, so back to the question, what's new on VP side? So one major thing that happened recently was we finally released 3.30. So the Calico counterpart for the 3.30 release. We are really late with that, but we wanted to get the CI back up on track before we did. So that's partially done. There are still a few hiccups, but mostly we are more confident about the test we're running. And aside from that, regarding updates, we are mostly focusing on internal refactorings, so trying to simplify code a lot, and we are working towards productization a lot. So nothing major to share, say consumability wise, but it's mostly like under the radar things are happening. So it's mostly taking a lot of cycles. Maybe one noticeable thing is that we released Calico VP Cardinal binary to help troubleshoot VPP when it's running under Calico, because that's not especially easy to do. So yeah, we made that in order to ease a bit troubleshooting in the same spirit as UI. So it's not a UI; it's a very simple tool so far, but yeah, planning to add more. And that's it from my end.
Have you guys, I can't remember if we spoke about this. I've been trying to move some of the end-to-end tests from our private repo into the Calico repo, which hopefully will make that process a bit easier for you guys.
Yeah, if that happens, if that can be done, that will be really great. Yeah, we appreciate that.
Yeah, but I've done a small handful already, and
Okay.
there's more coming.
Okay.
But it's sort of an incremental process.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, we're really happy to hear that this is on track. So we need to see this happen.
Yeah.
Probably make Lance's life a lot easier as well. Thanks for the help, Lance, as always. By the way.
Okay. So thank you, Nathan. Hopefully Lance's life is easier now. Somehow it died up, but okay. So Eric, anything new coming to the operator that we should know of?
I'm only aware of a few, or off the top of my head, I'm only thinking of a few internal things. So one thing particularly because I'm working on it, just trying to fix up some of the cleanup that we do, or the way we wait for stuff on teardown and stuff. And it's mainly to help CI, but then there's another under the hood thing that I I know has gone in with kind of how we handle image paths and registries. But again, I think it's an internal thing that most users wouldn't be impacted by. I don't know. There's several other people on here might know other things
Yeah.
going into the operator, but I mean, you
I feel
mentioned
like
one
we've
of them. Oh, go ahead.
mostly reached a point where, like, day to day, it's just whatever's needed to support the new features in Calico, and there's not like major operator only needed changes at this point.
Yeah.
Which
I
is a good
sort
place
of
to be.
I sort of think the big ones are the BPF one that Lucas put
Mhm.
in, like making it easier to switch to eBPF when you have kube proxy in your cluster. It's now value. And the other one was the C group path. That was also very helpful um, with Talos Linux. There's also another one that I'm forgetting, uh, which I guess I forgot. Uh, I also got something from one of our engineer last minute yesterday. So we are adding a little bit of pizzazz to the host endpoints. So if you know, you can use auto host endpoints, and these are usually used in Calico, like host endpoints, to sort of create a hook into interfaces that you have on your host, sort of like bridging the gap between where the namespace is and where the host processes and host interface lives. So we are sort of adding a little bit of, I guess Michael is on, so we could actually ask him. Michael, could you please uh, let me know what is this PR about?
Yeah. So in 3.30, we introduced a new way how to create auto host endpoints where with templates in the kube controller configuration, you can select for what IPs on the node you want your auto host endpoint to be created for. And in 3.31, we're improving that. And you are now able to select for which interface. So in the kube controllers templates, you can use a regex pattern to match your interface, and then the host endpoint created by the kube controller will have that interface filled out for the interface name of the host endpoint and all the IPs that are on that interface. So it's a small improvement to the feature that we introduced in 3.30, but some users were asking for also being able to specify the interface name in the templates, and it's coming out in 3.31.
Thank you. And I think with that, we get to the point that I have to talk about our where is it? Our stuff in KubeCon. So, as you know, KubeCon is around the corner, I
Hey,
believe.
hey, Reza. I
Yep, go ahead.
what if you're trying to share something different? It's like it doesn't look right for me. So
Yeah, I'm just getting the big gray square.
yeah.
No, actually, all right. I just trying to share my beaming face because the other one is our company Slack, and if I share that, Anthony will be screaming at me somewhere. Anyway, so with that being said, November 10th and 13th in Atlanta, we are gonna be at KubeCon booth 251, I believe. And on top of that, we do have a hybrid event called CalicoCon. Either if you are in Atlanta, we will see you in person. But if you cannot come to Atlanta and you want to join the party, use this landing page, which I'm now sending to everyone on the internet, both on YouTube, LinkedIn, Zoom, everywhere. So you can use this to sign up for CalicoCon. It's going to be a bunch of presentations about what is coming to Calico, what are we going to do with the future of the project, those sort of stuff. And there is actually a party at the end. If you are there in person, you get to talk to a couple of our engineers. I believe Pedro, Casey, and Peter, our VP of engineering, is going to be there. So that will be the best time to talk to Calico people. And with that, is there anything that I'm missing, Casey?
Not that I can think of.
All right. I
What
would
about
say,
anybody else? Any other topics or thoughts anybody's got? Sounds like no.
all right. Yes,
It's
we nailed
Tuesday
it.
morning.
Yeah. Well, have a great rest of the day, evening, afternoon, whatever it is at your time. And thank you for joining. Bye.
Cool. Thanks, Reza.
Thanks.
everybody.